Hey class, this is the second part of my lecture, collaboration. Actually, I think the weather's getting better. So see, doing these videos warded off the bad weather. Lucky us. So collaboration is, I don't know, to me it's a lot like communication. Again, I have the handout. If we're in class, I'll make copies. If we're not, it will be up top. Where the other information was. So collaboration is a Latin word meaning working together. Oops, I just kind of passed the objectives here. So we're going to define it, which I just did. We're going to get attributes of collaboration in the workplace and in professional nursing, and identify ways it impacts healthcare. I'm just all over the place, aren't I? So collaboration, again, is a Latin word for working together, developing partnerships to achieve the best possible outcome. So that's our number one goal, is great outcomes, patient safety, quality care at the lowest price, right? Well, that's what it is. I'm not planning on doing this. I thought I took this slide out, actually. I'm not planning on doing this collaboration. Just kind of look up these words and make sure you know what they mean. This is the overarching categories. So there's 4 categories. There's the nurse-nurse, interprofessional, the nurse-patient, the interorganizational, and the interprofessional. And those are the ones we're going to talk about. So nurse-patient, again, this is the nursing process here. We're still using the nursing process, but we're kind of getting to the Tanner's clinical judgment. So this is how we collaborate with our patients. We assess, we find out what's wrong with them, and identify their problem and set them a goal. We plan, and then we implement by delegating, doing skills, and then we evaluate. Remember, on the nurse-patient, another way to look at it is nursing process or Tanner's. And this says that nurse-to-nurse collaboration happens at all levels, and they want you to identify what mentoring and shared governance is and give an example. We're going to talk more about that. Interprofessional collaboration is working with other disciplines to optimize patient care. So this would be your doctors, your pharmacy, your physical therapy, social work. They're all very valuable part. And at our hospital, you'll get to hopefully see them do ground rounds. And when they do that, all the disciplines come together and discuss the patients, because, you know, sometimes you only have 2 or 3 days to get them out of the hospital, and discharge planning starts on the day of admission. Interorganizational is where you pool resources and helps not just the patient but your community as well. So attributes. Actually, I want to back up to this slide here. Okay? So traditional nursing 20 to 30 years ago, you know, you had your CEO, your DON, your assistant DON, your nursing supervisors, and your nurse managers. And again, in my last lecture, they did a lot of research on these huge papers that the internal medicine did, and to ASUMH, showing that we had over $100,000 of errors a year, and they felt like they needed a better way to practice. So better advances, better communication, to include therapeutic communication, nursing, interprofessional, which includes your SBAR, and then mutual respect, interprofessional. Also with EMR and technology, with the computer physician ordering and the computer on wheels. And last, the overall is patient safety and advocacy. So don't forget, advocacy is a big thing too. It causes an organizational change, actually, So now the CEO and the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, are equal, and then you have the Chief Nursing Officer. Now she's not parallel, but she's right under the CEO, and some people say she's parallel. This all comes from shared governance. The staff is involved, and we have an informatics department now. In bigger hospitals, they have research and development. And then a magnet status is when hospitals really driving towards BSN prepared nurses by 2020. Why? Because they think a bachelor prepared nurse has research background and a little bit more information. Mentoring and residency has also come about. And residency is really popular in all hospitals now. It gives that novice nurse a little extra training onto the computer and the ways of the hospital before they're kind of put out on their own. Also within that, they do professional personality tests to see what area would suit them best. So that's another big part of it. Okay, so interprofessional, again, is you, your team, your rounds, conferences, other disciplines. And then interorganizational is going to be ethics and roles, communication, teamwork. Okay, here's attributes necessary for interprofessional collaboration. That's kind of what the collaboration we're talking about. You gotta have values and ethics. You got to have mutual respect, open communication, shared decision making, so that you have quality, patient-centered care. You know, you have roles and responsibilities and teamwork. In the old days, I hate to say this, but when I was a nurse, you know, you were in charge of 6 clients. You might or might not have an aide. Definitely didn't have any LPNs running around, and you were responsible for everything. But we learned there was a lot of mistakes with that. So now the team nursing by far saves the patient from any mistakes. And this is just a picture of that. It is a professional standard. Collaboration is not only addressed by the American Nurses Association Code of Ethics, but it's also been researched, and they find, again, a multidisciplinary approach is better for the patient. QSIN, which is Quality and Safety Education in Nursing, is a huge impact on patient outcomes and quality of care. So we already talked about the Institute of Medicine. They're the ones identified to err as human, and that's where this all came about. And the Joint Commission also found there was a breakdown in communication as well. Developing a teamwork culture, it helps in all different aspects. Job retention, people don't quit as often, a better nurse-physician relationship, and improved communication skills. The economic impact, there's a study done that showed that there's a decrease in length of stay because of this, and it decreased our overall expense. This talks about research and grant money and other types of ways that we decided this was important to do. I was going to have you discuss ways students differ from professionals can learn together, and that's what we're going to be doing at clinic, is working together. I really think this is the old PowerPoint. Another good example I like to give of team nursing is when you do CPR. You have 2 or 3 people working to attain a goal, which is what? Good quality CPR. If your teammate's not going fast enough or deep enough, do you sit there? No. You express concern or take over. If they're too tired, you communicate and work together, because the goal is to save that life, good quality CPR. So you don't just stand there and sit idle by, right? Okay. So this chapter is kind of short. Like I said, it's kind of a spin-off of communication. I did have a case study. Obviously, if we're not in class, you won't have it. If you do want it, I can give it to you tomorrow. You don't have to turn it in for an assignment. And I do have a post-lecture quiz on it, but I'm not going to be able to do that either. We were going to take a little quick break and practice doing skills with medication administration with the computer on wheels. It's a great way to practice communication skills and collaboration. I'm going to have you work in pairs. So now I'm going to show you a video on medication administration. Also, I'm going to upload another handout. Over it went. Here it is. It is found in your Taylor's administration oral medications. It's a step-by-step checklist. It's for you to remember. The big importance, hopefully they'll do this in the video so we can talk about it after, is must identify yourself, must identify the patient with 2 identifiers. That's what you always need to do when you go in to see a patient. And so don't forget those 2 things. Introduce yourself, patient identifiers, and hand washing is really important. Seems very basic, and it's probably going to be on this little piece of paper if you don't remember what I said, but those are really important basic things you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to let you see this video. Oh, I always hit the wrong key, huh? Oops.
Hi, I'm Colleen Swartz. I'm the Chief Nurse Executive, and I'm here today with Gary Johnson, who is our Chief Pharmacy Officer for UK Healthcare. We're really excited today to talk about yet another step in our journey toward patient-centeredness, and that's around our medication administration processes. So we're quickly moving toward what you probably know as barcode med administration, or BCMA. Some people also refer to it as knowledge-based medication administration, where we provide yet another safety step for our patients in this very important workflow for every single patient that we have here at UK Healthcare. You probably know, if you're a registered nurse, you're spending about 25% of your shift around some aspect of medication administration. About a third of the errors that occur during our workflow around medication management occur during the administration of the medication. So this is that sort of last step when the nurse is about to administer the medication to the patient, where we want to insert a line of safety to ensure that patients are getting the right medicine, the right dose at the right time. All of those R's that we've learned so much about. So I'm going to turn it over to Gary, and he's going to talk a little bit more about barcode med administration and the process and the rollout and the time frame that we're going to undertake here at UK Healthcare.
So this is an exciting project, Colleen. It's a project that's been a long time coming, so I think a lot of you have heard about barcode administration and the implication for patient safety, so we're excited. This is almost here. We plan to go live with our pilot in mid-March with Good Samaritan. That's where we're going to start for all of Good Samaritan. There will be some initial areas that are excluded, such as the ED and the ORs. But the other areas, we really anticipate a lot of improved safety measures, starting with the pharmacy. So in the pharmacy itself, these drugs, as they come from the manufacturers, we barcoded, and once they're barcoded, before they're dispensed out to the floors, they'll be scanned. So we're trying to decrease our dispensing errors with this technology. It should decrease our dispensing errors by about 75%. Once the drugs get to the floor, and the nurses remove them from Pyxis or from the carts, then it will also decrease our administration times or the administration errors by about 75%. So 2 real major wins with patient safety. The technology also brings some efficiencies for nursing. So the utility of barcode med administration is obviously to improve patient safety. But for nursing, it also automates that documentation process. So you no longer have to document it in the way that you used to. And it automates the billing process. So when that drug is scanned, it generates the bill automatically. So there's some real improved features around our operations with this technology.
So you can see we're really excited about this. It's been a long time coming at UK Healthcare, and again, it's another step in our journey toward patient-centeredness and really providing the best environment we can for quality, safe, efficient care, and also keep in mind that our patients expect us to provide medication in a way that is safe and efficient, and that we can replicate the process every single patient, every single time we're actually administering a medication. The patients we have here at UK Healthcare, as you know, are incredibly ill, injured, and very complex. We have some of the most complex clinical care processes here at UK Healthcare that you're going to find across this state and in this region. So we have an imperative to ensure a safe clinical environment, and medication management and administration is one of those key workflows where we can really make this change and improve this environment and culture of safety for our patients. So we appreciate, hopefully you're as excited as we are about this improvement, and we look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's the computer on wheels. We were going to do this as a group. Pretty common. This is what they look like. Now don't stress about this. You will get this training and orientation, and we'll go over this in clinical. But this is just a great thing for people to look at if they've never seen it. I'm not trying to, say one group may not know about it than the other, but long-term care, school nursing, this is more of a hospital thing. We got these drawers. At the hospital, they're typically locked, and you have a 4 code that you punch in. And so the first thing in the morning, you're going to go to the med room, and you're going to put all your meds in here to be given during the day. You're going to have a computer. This is an example of Cerner, what it looks like for your patient. Remember, if you're not at the computer, you want to log off or suspend, and we'll go through all that, so don't stress about it. You don't really need this medication book anymore. Why? Because the EMR programs have just tons. They have Lippincott Advisor, that's why we use that, and you can look up the medications. Another reason, number 2, is you got pharmacy involved, and they collaborate with us. And so I'm not saying this is foolproof. You still have to do some drug calculations, but it's so much easier than when I was a nurse 30 years ago. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to introduce yourself. Hi, Mr. Smith. I'm Kelly. I'm your nurse today, and I'm going to be giving your medications. Okay? Before you go in the room, it's probably a good idea to check what medicines they have and make sure they're in your drawer to kind of look through things. Second thing you're going to do, hand hygiene. Let's see, role playing here by myself. You're going to do some either this kind of hand hygiene, or you're going to actually wash your hands. And you're going to identify the patient with 2 identifiers, his name, his date of birth, and you're going to look at his band, okay? Say he. The second thing you do is, let's just pull a med out we're going to give, is you're going to scan the patient's wristband. The name will pop up, okay? After the name pops up, it'll go ahead and tell you to scan the medicine. You'll scan the medicine. It'll pop up, and then you'll give the medicine and sign off the medicine. So it really is somewhat foolproof. Just remember with drug administration, your rights. When given medications, it used to be 5. I believe it's a lot more than 5 now. So you want to refer to the infamous Taylor's Clinical Nursing. Okay? In that, if you go to medications, chapter 5, you will see everything you need to know about giving medications, including the 3 checks, the rights of a medication administration, and they're now 9, page 178, and fundamentals for giving medications, and so on and so forth. So we were going to practice that in pairs tonight, but due to the weather we're not. So we'll get plenty of time to do this at the hospital and in SimLab when we have SimLab. I hope this helped. I hope it didn't confuse you. And sometimes seeing is believing, and sometimes getting your hands on things is also helpful. I'll get my big face off here. That's really going to be it for tonight. We did have a post-lecture quiz. Obviously, you won't be able to take that. And that's okay. Let's see if I go over a few questions real quick. A few questions. I'm not going to give you the answers, okay? Let you think about it. A patient scenario describes the best example of professional collaboration. A, the nurse, physician, physical therapist have to all visit separately with the patient Number 2, the nurse, physical therapist, and the physician have to develop separate care plans for the patient. The nurse mentions to the physical therapist that the patient would benefit from muscle strengthening exercises. And last, the nurse and physician discuss the patient's muscle weakness and initiate a referral to physical therapy. And the last one is the answer on that. Okay, well, if y'all have any questions, just let me know. Sorry this was so short. Don't forget your graded assignments here. You have your adaptive quizzing. It will take several times to level up, so don't stress about that. It's not uncommon to do 200 to 400 questions. And then you have your discussion here on technology and informatics for you to do. And hope you have a great rest of the week. Thank you.